And welcome back to the Intuitively Led podcast. I'm your host, Julie Chandler. I am the intuitive business coach who comes with over 18 years experience connecting to the universe, as well as over 10 years experience working in the back end of people's businesses before I even started coaching. So let's talk today about the energy of spring. Spring equinox is here, and I love this time of year, as I'm sure many of you do. I want to give you some aligned action steps that you can use with that energy. So those of you who actually have worked with me before and know me will know that I work with the BU framework. So this is one level straight away, starting from you and your energy, how you can be yourself within your business. But essentially just breaking down that energy framework for you. So with the B, it is the letter B for your business. So your business has its own energy framework. Then we move on to the U, the Y for the U, and the Y is your energy, right? So this is going to be talking today about your energy and how that affects your business. But it's also looking at the O, so we've got other people's energy as well, and the U for universal energy. So an example of universal energy is this spring equinox energy that we are all working with right now. So it's being aware that not only your energy is going to be affected by this, but also your client's energy. So everybody literally has a spring in their step, right? The energy of spring is very much like that. The images that come to mind when we talk of spring are baby lambs bouncing through a field. They're inquisitive, they're excited, I don't know why the word jubilant wants to come out, but that's essentially what they are, and that is the energy of spring. When you're looking at the trees and the flowers that are starting to blossom now, it gives you hope. It gives you this idea and this feeling and this uplift in your energy. And that is something that I want you guys to take advantage of within your business. Okay. So spring equinox is that time of year where essentially it is classified as the first day of spring. It is halfway between the shortest day and the longest day, being the solstices. Very quick, very simple and quick way of explaining that for you and that energy. Now, it's very easy to tap into that energy, okay? That energy is around you right now, whether you want to play with it or not. But as I always say, why not just go with the flow of this energy that is out there? Why not run with what is going? Because that energy is happening, that energy is moving, that energy is affecting you, your family, your friends. It's affecting your business, it's affecting your clients, it's affecting their family, their friends, it's affecting everybody. So the first thing that I will say about using the energy of the spring equinox to take some aligned action steps in your business is just becoming attuned to this energy. Simply acknowledging the fact that spring energy is in the air. Taking a little time. Now, I'm not saying that you need to sit down and meditate on this, but even if it's just when you're doing the dishes, when you're going for a walk with the dog, when you're taking a shower, maybe you've got a moment to yourself, having a moment just to reflect on, what does spring mean for you? What memories come up when you think about spring when you were young, right? Especially when you were young. Think about things of what it felt like to be able to go and play outside again because the weather started to turn nicer, right? You could stay out a little bit longer because the nights were, weren't so drawn in and all of this kind of stuff. Really tap back into that energy. Because as I say, that's that jubilant, excited over simple things. And that is the beauty of working with spring energy, is that you can tap right back into that energy and really sit there and be like, okay, what does that mean for me? And how can I utilize this going forward? So that is the first step that I'm giving you now of how to attune into that spring equinox energy and really make it aligned with you. So make it personal to you. Just because I'm saying, I think of baby lambs in a field doesn't mean that that's what you think of. Maybe you are, I don't know why this Theresa May reference is coming up, of running through the fields of wheat, okay? But maybe there is something specific to you that you remember when you were younger. So for me, when I was younger, so my birthday is in February, a lot of things didn't get to happen in February when I was younger because the winters were harsher, right? I'm making myself sound really old, but the winters were harsher in my day. But the winters were harsher. So in February, we always had snow. My brother's birthday is like around a week after mine. And if it didn't snow on my birthday, it snowed on his birthday. So there was always this sense of restriction. And as soon as like March came and it started to turn, we could do more things. We could go more places, right? So that was exciting. It was this expansion energy. So I love to tap back into expansion when it comes to spring. That's me personally. Also, spring for me takes me back to a time where some of you may not even know this. I used to run track. I used to be an athlete. I was at county level. I feel like I should insert a picture here, but I probably won't because that involves editing and that just takes time. But spring used to be the start, right? So we would have the indoor season and that would like close off in February. And then you would have like March downtime. April would start coming in. So March to April, you could start having outdoor meets, and it would be going to new places, like testing out the work that you've done through the winter. And that is a great analogy about like really tapping into that energy as well. So we will come back onto that as well, because it's very much for me, right? So when I'm tapping back into that energy of what it feels like to me, and this is why it's important for you to do this reflection for you, sit there and think about what spring means for you. So as I say, spring means expansion for me because it meant like it's time to go outside and play, right? Spring is coming, we can stay outside longer. It's expansion, it's freedom, right? It also then means testing all the hard work I had done in the winter months within my track and field training, because winter training is a bitch. It's just straight up and down, as simple as that. Winter training when you do track is horrible. If you run 100 meters and you know through the winter you're running 400, 500, 600 meters, and basically anyone who's ever run 100 meters and has any links to track will tell you anyone that runs 100 doesn't want to run any further than 100. They don't even like doing the 200. I guarantee you. So that's what it means for me. It means testing the water. It also brings back memories of being rewarded. So when I then would get a personal best, it would be a reward. It would be a celebration. Well, my dad was one of my coaches, or at least he very much took me to all of the meets. And it would be this sense of like, congratulations. And I used to get £5 every time I beat a record. Just like a little incentive that was put in for me personally. So for me, when I tap into spring energy, that's what I'm tapping into. I'm tapping into the excitement of expansion, the excitement of growth, and the excitement of seeing where I land, quite literally, because I used to do long jump and triple jump. So seeing where I land, what that looks like, and getting the rewards for that, getting the rewards for the work that I've put in. And that for me is spring energy. Now you might have something similar to that. So your step here for your aligned action is looking at what spring brings up in your mind. What story comes up in your mind when we are talking about spring? And the benefit of you aligning with that is that that's what can like amplify your energy, because it's all good and well me sitting here telling you, well, this is what spring means. This is what it means. It's like, yes, spring generally does mean coming out and blossoming, right? So you can use that energy on a basic level, but what does it mean for you personally? Because that's what alignment means. And that's what I want you to tap into, okay? So the other thing that we can do here is really, really set some intentions. So spring also is a new season, a new cycle. We're coming into a new quarter. So you can take that aligned action of being like, right, okay, so this spring energy, again, we'll do my example. Spring energy means expansion. It means seeing where I land. It means like putting myself out there. Now I'm allowed to come back outside after it's been cold and dark. So what does that look like in terms of business growth? Am I going to sit down and write some goals around that? So how many more followers am I going to get? How many people am I going to interact with today? I'm trying to think of things that are like much more personal to me. Definitely the interaction. The numbers don't necessarily bother me personally, but they might for you. So having a look at what that means for you. So it's definitely about setting those goals and setting that intention, right? So being very clear on the fact that spring is a new season. So what is this season going to bring for you? What is your intention? So that you can literally make that declaration to the universe. So going back, as I said, so step one, you really, really want to be tapping back into what spring energy means for you, combining that with the stereotypical, logical energy imprint that comes with spring. So blossomings, new births, new beginnings, like the temperatures warming. What do these things actually mean to you? And what does that mean for the intention you have for this season? Because you've now got until summer to make this come true. What is it that you want? And that's how you can really, really step in and make a powerful intention. Because it's all good and well saying, I want to sell X amount of spots on my one-to-one. I want X amount of people to sign up to my membership. I want to get X amount of people in the door to like come and have a service with me. But it's really, really about that being connected to your personal power. And your personal power is that imprint in what does spring mean for you? Use that right now in this intention to 100% amplify what it is that you want for your business growth. Now, the wonderful thing here as well, when we are talking about business growth, we want to talk about momentum. Now, when we talk about spring equinox, summer solstice, autumn equinox, winter solstice, I am talking about a cycle. Now, this means that the energy never moves, and you need to become more and more in tune and aware of that fact. This energy is continuous. It's a continuous cycle. So with that intention, what are you bringing from the last season? And what do you want it to do past this season? So looking at all three stages is a fantastic way to help you create aligned action with that momentum of that energy. Because I will tell you time and time again, energy does not want to stay still. Energy has so many layers to it. So I personally work with past, present, and potential energy. So we're looking at the past. What was this like winter solstice to now telling me? Present, we're now in this spring. What is this telling me? What is the potential? What is the summer energy? What is that potential? So always working with those three, using that as momentum, because you're not just getting to the end of this quarter and being like, oh, what now? I want you as an aligned action to be moving through that energy. The energy needs to roll with you. It needs to continue. So thinking about it in terms of that, how are you going to use that energy from past, present, potential energy to create that momentum for that intention that you want? Now, you can keep it super simple here. You can create an intention that's just one simple thing. I intend to make X amount of money, and then break it down into smaller goals. Okay, to make X amount of money, what momentum do I need? How many people have I had in the door? How many people can I get back in the door? How many people have I reached out to that I could potentially turn into clients? How many people can I tap into? How many emails can I send? How many posts can I post? Like whatever it is for you within your business, it's about really looking at where you can get that flow of momentum. Okay. Now, the next step that I really want for you to take is very much connecting all of this to your bigger vision. So this is what I call hawk vision. And I will get to the podcast very soon where I talk about how hawks have been following me, because I've been talking about this on the peripherals for a long time. But hawks have been following me, and it is because this is one of the ways that I work. I take a very, very big picture vision of everything. I can see my future so clearly, but yet I can also see what is right in front of me right now. I can also see everything that is behind me, right? Past, present, potential. I can see every single finite detail, and I take pride in that. I'm very much that high hawk vision, air energy. Is one of the things that I bring into my programs, into my coaching. Is very much part of Be You Aligned, where I work one-on-one with clients right now to specifically let me help them pull apart everything that they have within their business. So that, again, I can look at that energy going all the way through. So I want you to think about that. I want you to look at, okay, what is the big picture and how does this section of my life this spring quarter and this spring energy, where does that fit? And is it going in the right direction? You need to take a little bit of time on that. You need to really reflect back on that big vision. What is your purpose? What is your why? What is your mission? How does that interlink with what you're doing today? Right? Get out of your head about it. Get out of your head about, I must post this many times. I must make this amount of money. I must reach this amount of people. Get out of your head about that. It's important. It's a helpful tool, but it is not a prerequisite. But what is the most important thing is that what you are doing right now, your energy here that you're going to start pushing forwards is aligned with that big picture, right? So that's what I want for you. So that's another layer to your aligned action that you can be taking with this spring equinox. Now, I also want to talk about the fact that there are things out there that are going to essentially pull you off course. So you will have potentially heard me talking about the frequency freeway before. So when you set your intention, you are setting a clear vision of energy to the universe. You are sending energy up one side of a freeway, and that energy meets the outcome and it comes back to you, which is where you then receive the outcome. So you set your intention, I want to sign one high ticket client this month. Bam, you send that out, it hits that client and that client comes into you. Okay. Now, the thing that you need to be aware of and what is important when you're taking aligned action steps is acknowledging the things that will take you off of that frequency freeway. So again, if we're imagining it as a road, every single time that something happens, so what I call a pivot ripple, anything that turns your head, that magnetically sucks you off of that frequency is a pivot ripple. And it is disturbing your peace. So what I want you to get clear on to be in line with this spring equinox energy is making a declaration of, okay, I'm not going to allow these things to pull me off course. I know that because it's spring energy and it's brand new energy right now, that there are lots of people out there who are going to be talking about offers, that are talking about programs, that are talking about events for me to attend, that are talking about, like, you know, celebrating and getting out there and going out on evenings and all of this, because everyone's now in that bubbly, jubilant energy. You're going to be aware of all of those and you are going to take action to be aware of those and only do the things that light you up, that are aligned with you and that are getting you to your response. Right? So I say this all the time, I have no problem with low ticket offers. I have no problem with templates until they're just a waste of time and money. So this is your opportunity with this aligned action to become very, very clear what's going to get you where you need to go. And being aware of all of the things that will distract you on the way to that. So if you have shiny object syndrome, that's one of your pivot ripples. You're like, I love all the things shiny. They come in, they make me go off my frequency freeway. We don't want that because it takes you twice as long to get that response back from that client, right? We want to keep the energy going in one direction. So just dedicating some time and energy to that as well as part of those steps for you to become more in line with this spring equinox energy. So I'm going to wrap it up there. I wanted this to be super quick, super informative. Those are some aligned action steps you can take using the universal energy of this spring equinox. We are also approaching the Aries new moon, so there will be some information in an episode on that as well. So that is also another beginning, a new start, and it all coincides together. So these are great things to do. If you are interested in having one-to-one sessions with me where we can work through and help you get that alignment within your business, especially within your offers, looking at everything from all of your messaging elements, everything that is outreach energy, really honing in and tapping back into your past, present, and potential energy as well, get in touch. We can book a call. We can talk about these things. I want you to benefit from the amazing energy that is out there. And the more that all four of these energies are in alignment, your business energy, your energy, other people's energy, and the universe's energy, the more those are aligned, the more you can do and attract and achieve. And that is what I want for you. So I would like to thank you once again for listening to me once more here on the Intuitively Led podcast. Do please comment, like, and share, because I really want to get this message out there. So share this to people that you think need to know about the spring equinox today. And I will see you guys on the next episode.